This is the DeLand Civil Rights and Black Lives Matter virtual exhibit by Carly Mahler. If you'd like to skip around to a certain section of the video, please refer to the timestamps in the description down below. Stetson as a college has long been a place of discourse about social issues. This issue of the 1964 Stetson Reporter reveals what some of the sentiment was around civil rights movement in Stetson, as well as the greater DeLand community. Lewis Wyman writes that he feels the nation has become too emotional in regards to the subject of civil rights. He also writes that he believes civil rights laws would violate the Constitution. On the other side of the civil rights movement in the 1960s were the activists pushing for the change in DeLand area. Joyce Cusack was one of the leaders of civil rights demonstrations in DeLand. She attended the segregated Euclid High School and was an organizer for the DeLand Sit-Ins. When asked about the atmosphere during the protest, she said, quote, "There was an uneasiness in America," unquote. She is now a representative in the Florida House of Representatives for District 27. This image shows the scene at a DeLand sit-in at a dining counter. Joyce Cusack reminisced on the planning of the event, saying, quote, "The class of 1960 would be the class to say, 'Let's go downtown and take a seat,'" unquote. The lunch counter was closed after the 5th time that the group attempted to sit down and eat. It reopened later and served black patrons. Moving into the current times, in 2020 the Black Lives Matter movement, also known as BLM, has had a considerable presence in DeLand and specifically on Stetson's campus. This image shows a protest from June 2020 where young people marched for justice after the death of George Floyd, along with other African Americans at the hands of police. I reached out to speak with a Black Lives Matter organizer living in DeLand and attending Stetson University. Olivia is a freshman and member of the Stetson Honors Program. She was one of the key organizers for the November 2020 Black Lives Matter March in downtown DeLand. When asked what inspired her to get involved, she emphasized her own racial identity and experiences, along with the fact that she wanted to, quote, "help people understand the social aspect of issues," unquote. The screenshot on the right is an infographic informing people to meet at the Stetson Fountain on November 7th, 2020 for a Black Lives Matter march. When asked about the role of social media in the Black Lives Matter movement, Olivia Spencer said, quote, "Social media can be the biggest benefactor to the Black Lives Matter movement, while also being the biggest detractor. It's a great way to spread information and get the word out there about our struggles. However, it can also lead to a lot of misinformation," unquote. This is a video taken from the advertised march with protesters chanting the phrase, quote, "No justice, no peace," unquote. This video shows students of all races marching with signs and clearly reflects a sense of organization over messaging.
No peace! No peace!